This is Brother Brandon coming to you live from Fort Smith, Arkansas with another Fisherman video broadcast. Good to be here with you today. Today we're going to be getting back into the history, the Baptist history workbook. We are on chapter 6. We'll be finishing up chapter 6 today. We're going to be getting into Islam, and we'll also be getting into the churches of the 7th, 8th, and 9th centuries, along with Islam. Good to be with you today. We got a lot of things to cover, and so little time. So, bear with me here for a moment. Let's do prayer requests, if we will. Pray for me. I don't want to say I'm not doing very well, but I don't want to say I'm doing excellent either. But just pray for me as I'm going through some things. Pray for me. Pray for the ministry. Pray for the videos. Pray for Israel. Pray for our nation. Pray for Sister Annalise. Pray for Sister Amanda. Pray for Sister Debbie. For Brother Kevin. Brother Joey. So continue to pray for them as well. So that's, I know it's kind of a quick run through, but just the prayer requests are just kind of same as usual. Okay. So, what's all this? Oh yeah, I got a lot of stuff on my desk right now. And so I've got a lot of stuff on my desk. So just bear with me here for a moment. So those are just, the regular prayer requests. Keep each other in prayer. Announcements. So next week we'll be getting into. We'll be back into the Masonic and occultic symbols. Week after that. So 2 weeks from today, we'll be actually doing our Christmas the Christmas broadcast. Okay. And so that's 2 weeks from today. Then that following week, on Christmas week, there will be no broadcasts. No broadcasts. Now, a week after that, there won't be any broadcasts on Monday. But we will be postponing that to Wednesday, the 31st. Wednesday the 31st is New Year's. So we're having our New Year's broadcast. So stay tuned for that. And so while the holidays are going on, I'm taking another week off for Christmas. Because again, people are traveling and spending time with your families, and I'm a big, huge person on family. So, no broadcast on the week of Christmas. Take off and have fun and be safe. All right. So, that's what's coming. That's what's going on. Monday. Let's see here. Monday, Lord willing, we'll be getting into John chapter 10. And then I think, let's see here. Then 2 weeks. I think it's at least a week or two. I can't remember. I'm losing track of my days. Lord willing, we'll be getting into John 11, either before Christmas or after Christmas. All right. So that's kind of like the agenda for now. So, what else? What else do we need to? What else do I need to say? I think that's it. I think that's it. I don't know how long this video is going to be. This video could be a half an hour. This video could be 40 minutes. It could be an hour. I don't know. But we'll be getting into the second part of chapter 6 in the Baptist History Workbook. And we only just got a couple, literally, we only got like not many pages. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. Maybe not even that. So this may be a quick video. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So the last time we were together, we talked about the rise of the Albigenses. We talked about the different groups, the different churches. And this week we're going to be continue to talk about the churches, but we're also going to talk about the birth of Islam. And while we go through this, I want you to think of the times that we live in right now. Why is there such a huge Islamic takeover of America? Okay? I want you to correlate what's going on in history to what's going on now. All right? Now, section 2 of chapter 6. And this is churches of the 7th, 8th, and 9th centuries. So, the first name here that we come to is Muhammad. Muhammad was an Arab leader who unified the Arabic tribes under the god Allah. His followers conquered all of the Middle East, including Jerusalem. Charles Martel, he was a Frankish prince who defeated the Muslims at the Battle of Poitiers in 732. The Venerable Bede is English bishop and early historian of Britain. Boniface Winifred, the so-called Apostle of Germany. Winifred was born near Crediston in Devonshire about the year 680. He became a monk at an early age, went to Germany, and baptized thousands of converts in the Roman Catholic institution. Charlemagne, first emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, crowned by Pope Leo III. Alcuin, preacher from Britain who advised Charlemagne and opposed the worship of images. So the 7th, 8th, and 9th centuries were filled with intrigue and political maneuvering. The Arabs, beginning with Muhammad in AD 612, united under the Muslim belief system, overran the Middle East, gained control of Jerusalem, and would have conquered all of Europe. Had they not turned back by Charles Martel at Poitiers at 732. Boniface, an English missionary at the Catholic institution, began his ministry to the German tribes at this time. Boniface supposedly baptized many converts, but Irish missionaries in Germany opposed him. It is evident that these Irish missionaries were opposed to the Roman Catholic idolatry. Now, what about Islam? Islam means peaceful or peaceful path. The irony of that, isn't it? The Quran gives instruction on how to kill unbelievers. The forcible conversion of the world is one of the tenets of the Quran. Islam is one of the fastest growing religions in the world with over 1 billion adherents worldwide. Islam is distinctively a works religion. Salvation is rewarded for service to Allah. Allah is not God. Allah is just one God of many Arabian deities. Some strange things, because of the Quran's attitude toward unbelievers, rape of unbelieving women has been long been a standard act for conquering Islamic armies. Muhammad got several revelations from Allah to kill dogs. Lots of them, especially black ones. Reasons for the rise of Islam: the decline of the true church, the lack of soul-winning zeal in the Arab Peninsula, the outlawing of the Palicans by the Catholic Church. If the Palicans would have been allowed to flourish, perhaps their zeal for the Bible and for souls would have had a greater impact on the Arabs. Now, the birth of Islam. The so-called prophet of Islam, Muhammad, was born in Mecca, Arabia in 570. His parents both died before he reached the age of 7. Muhammad began traveling in caravans and learning the ways of trade in the Arabian Peninsula. He married at age 25, and in the year 610, he claimed to have his first revelation from the angel Gabriel, which began his transmission of the Quran, the Muslim holy book. Think about that. He thinks he saw Gabriel. That's just weird. Muhammad began his public ministry and in the beginning was largely rejected by the Arabs. In 621, he was transported by Gabriel to Jerusalem and back in one night, where he met Abraham, Moses, Jesus, etc. And yes, even taken to heaven, where he saw the signs of God. After being warned by Gabriel that his kinsmen, the Quraysh, were plotting to kill him, Muhammad escaped by night and began to lead his nomad band of Muslims. Over a period of 5 years, Muhammad married several more women, fought with Mecca, and collected goods and money plundered from his raids on traveling caravans. In 630, Muhammad marched on Mecca, where the Meccans surrendered to the messenger of God without a fight. He destroyed the idols around the Kaaba, believed to have been built by Adam, rebuilt by Abraham and Ishmael, rededicated it to Allah, and gave the old pagan rites of Hajj, which is pilgrimage to Mecca, and Islamic significance. Muhammad died in 632, and Abu Bakr was elected as his caliph, prophet in his place. In the next 12 years, under the next caliphs, the religion captured Jerusalem, Syria, Egypt, Persia, and Mesopotamia, all by warfare. But the next two caliphs continued as their predecessors. They took the areas of North Africa, parts of India, and Spain. The caliph's line continued, and wars continued unabated. France, Germany, and the rest of Europe would have surely fallen if it had not been for Charles Martel's victory in 732 at the Battle of Poitiers. There was 110 years of Islam and 110 years of Islamic warfare against the rest of the world. Their plan of action has not changed. All the lands from Turkey to India, from North Africa to Spain, are in his hands of Islam, including the Arabian Peninsula, Mideast, and Persia. Now, Charles Martel's victory over the Muslims. Martel was a Frenchman who gathered an army and formed a line to stop the onslaught of the Muslim forces. Charles Martel, Martel means the hammer, was the son of Pepin II, mayor of the Palace of Austrasia. On the death of Pepin II, 714, the succession was passed to an infant grandson. A faction between Austrian Asian nobles who supported the grandson and those that supported Martel developed over who would lead Austrasia. Charles secured his power through a series of military victories and by winning the loyalty of several important priests and bishops of the Catholic institution. He did it partly by donating lands and money for the founding of abbeys and monasteries. In any event, Charles Martel was waiting for the Muslims when they invaded France. Martel's army defeated the Muslims at the Battle of Poitiers in 732. Charles Martel had a son named Pepin III, who sat as a governor in France. He was crowned king of the Franks and Germans by the Pope, and in exchange, Pepin granted the church a large tract of land he had taken from the Lombards. This began a long history of donations given to the Roman Catholic institution and instilled the idea of the divine right of Christian kings to confiscate lands of conquered nations. Excuse me. Now, the timeline, 19th century. In 800, Charles the Great crowned as emperor. Forgery of Constantine's donation approx. 814, the death of Charles the Great. From 826 to 865, missionary labors of Ansgar. 846 is forgery of the false decretals approx. From 860 to 870, conversion of the Bulgarians, Moravians, and Bohemians. Now, let's talk about Charlemagne. Pippin died in 768, and his son Charles the Great became the new king. Pope Leo III successfully defended his office of Supreme Pontiff with the help of Charles the Great. And in the year 800, in a huge ceremony at St. Peter's Church in Rome, Leo III surprisingly crowned Charles the Great, placing a golden crown on the king's head, while the people shouted long life and victory to our Emperor Charles. Now, after a long time, an emperor was again set up in the West. Charles the Great was from then on known as Charlemagne. He died in 814. His empire, known as the Holy Roman Empire, was never as strong as the old emperors, but the idea of a vast European empire under the charge of a great king has never died. One day, the empire will be revived under the Antichrist kingdom. Alcuin was a British preacher who aided Charlemagne in the education of his own children and the children of the privileged in Germany. Alcuin was opposed to the worship of idols as outlined in the Second Council of Nicaea. The advance of the true Christian faith in the 7th, 8th, and 19th century is obscure. All writings and histories of Christ's true and persecuted church were destroyed, while the lives of untold thousands were broken, scattered, and slaughtered. Now, the donation of Constantine. One of the most embarrassing situations the Holy Roman and Apostolic Church found itself involved in the infamous donation of Constantine. There had always been some embarrassing things involving the relics and the remains of the saints. This particular embarrassment involved forgery and thievery of the most grotesque nature. Now, the skull of John the Baptist. One of the biggest farces in the history of the relics of the Catholic institution involved the skull of John the Baptist. As the bishops would gather the relic sideshows to entertain and control the people, several skulls of John the Baptist kept appearing at the showings. On one occasion, two of the John the Baptist skulls appeared in a public show. This was explained to the gullible public by telling them the smaller skull was the skull of John the Baptist where he was a boy. That's weird. In AD 756, the Italian Papal States, much of the city of Rome, and major areas in western Italy were officially acquired by the Catholic Church. This land transfer was legitimated on the basis of documents supposedly written by the Roman Emperor Constantine I in AD 337, which granted all of those regions to Pope Sylvester I, Pope from AD 315 to 335. And his successors, for many centuries, the authenticity of the donation of Constantine was not questioned. However, in 1440, Lorenzo Valla published his Declamato da falso credia et ementia Donaton Constantini, discourse on the forgery of the alleged donation of Constantine. In this declamation, Valla argued that the donation was a fraud. He noted that not only was there no record indicating that Pope Sylvester I had been aware of such a gift, but also that the text of the donation contained a number of historical anachronisms. For instance, it referred to Byzantia as a province when in the 4th century it was only a city. It referred to temples in Rome that did not yet exist. And finally, it referred to Judea, which also did not yet exist. It is now believed that the donation of Constantine was actually written around AD 750, shortly before the Catholic Church acquired the Papal States. And long after Constantine's death, its true author is unknown. The Catholic Church ceded the Papal States back to Italy in 1929. Gordon Stein, the Encyclopedia of Hoaxes, pages 66 to 67. Now, with that said, that is it for chapter 6. I told you it wasn't going to be a lengthy video. It's going to be a short one. So, and we're only like 24 minutes in. So next time we will get into chapter 7, which is the churches of the 10th, 11th, and 12th centuries. And so we're going to be going through that next time. And see here. So that one is probably going to be at least a couple parts. But we'll see how that goes. All right. So that's what we'll be getting into next time. Now, I don't want to get into too much tonight. But like I said, it was gonna be a short video. Hopefully it was somewhat of a blessing. I know it was a short video. Like I said, I didn't know how long it was going to be. And I don't want to just keep on rambling on and 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 on. So, but yeah, so we took a look at the birth of Islam. We took a look at Charles Martel, his victory over the Muslims. We saw all that, and we also saw more of the Catholic Church and Charlemagne, the donation of Constantine, and there's enough information, I think, to sort of let it all marinate, as you will. All right, so we're gonna stop there for tonight. And like I said, we'll pick up on chapter 7 here next time when we join together. And hopefully that will be a blessing to you all. All right. So anyways, so like I said, just want to let you know in a couple of weeks, we will have our Christmas broadcast. The holiday broadcasts are usually more laxed. And so just it's nothing too formal. All right, so hopefully that will be a blessing to you all. Also, on the week of Christmas, there will be no broadcast. The week of New Year's, there will be no broadcast on Monday. That's going to be postponed to Wednesday. So we will have our New Year's broadcast on Wednesday, and then we will have our normal broadcast on Friday, and we'll just kind of go from there and all that, okay? So, again, pray for me, pray for everybody. I'm sure everyone can use some prayer. Let's finish this. Let's finish this year strong, okay? Let's go out strongly to end the year, and let's have a strong beginning of next year, okay? So, anyways, next week we'll get into the Masonic and occultic symbols. Monday we'll be getting into John chapter 10, okay? So with that said, I love you guys. God bless you. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Have a good day in church on Sunday. And Lord willing, we'll see you all on Monday. All right, you guys? Love you guys. See ya. Love ya. Bye.